In the remarkable city of Jutengai lived almost 100,000 beasts. The Grand Master of the Beast, who had ruled them for a long time, decides to retire and reincarnate into a god. But before retiring, he has to choose a successor. Strength and dignity were the apparent requirements to succeed. The competition is to be between two beasts, Iozen and Kumatetsu. Iozen is a famous person who is calm, brave, and has a lot of disciples. He is also the father of two children, named Ichiruhiko and Jirumaro. Kumatetsu looks like a bear, has immense strength, swifts like a monkey, and has mastered sword skills. However, unlike Iozen, he is violent, selfish, disrespectful, and has no disciple. A boy named Ren stands alone, sad in the middle of a crowded area. Ren lost his mother and his father had left them before due to his parents' divorce. Ren's extended family is given his custody. However, Ren feels alone and unwanted and runs away to the streets of Shibuya. As Ren hears the cop arresting children for running away, he runs away from the scene stealing food to survive. He meets a little mouse and feels they share the same feelings, naming it Chico. As Ren mutters hatred for his life, while on the streets of Shibuya, a shadow emerges in the dark. Ren is seen sitting alone at the cycle stand, devastated when he has an encounter with Kimetetsu. Kimetetsu calls him out and leans his hand forward to see his face. As he lifts Ren's face, Ren gets scared looking at the bear-looking Kimetetsu and Tatara. Kimetetsu offers Ren to take him along to be his disciple, but Tatara drags Kimetetsu away. When Ren realizes about his encounter, he runs and ends up in the massive crowd. Losing Kimetetsu, Ren is captured by the police officers, suspecting him to be a runaway. He flees from the policemen after wrestling with them. As Ren runs away frantically, he sees Kimetetsu entering an alley. He follows Kimetetsu in that alley, crossing the boundary of the looping streets, causing him to be stuck. He is pushed by a donkey into the world of beasts in Jengutai. When Ren realizes it is a city of beasts, he tries to escape, but the entrance to the alley closes. He runs frantically to find a way out from Jengutai, but is captured by 3 beasts who plan to eat him. But he is saved by a beast named Hyakoshobu. Hyakoshobu is a monk who tries to help Ren get back to his world, but Kimetetsu finds Ren with the monk and declares him to be his disciple. Ren, surprised by the city, follows Kimetetsu to his untidy, dirty home. Kimetetsu asks Ren his name and age, but Ren refuses to tell his name, to which 9-year-old Ren is named Kyuda by Kimetetsu. Kimetetsu tells Ren that if he cries or complains, he will be on the street. Once Kimetetsu sleeps, Ren goes out where he imagines his mom calling him for food, but when reality hits him, he ends up crying. In the morning when Kimetetsu wakes up, he does not find Ren suspecting him to run away, but later finds him in the cage of hens when he goes to fetch eggs. Kimetetsu tells Ren to eat raw eggs, but Ren refuses and both of them end up in an argument. Ren runs and hides in the market where he sees Iozen with his children. Iozen tells Kimetetsu that he cannot have a human disciple since humans tend to be encompassed by their darkness, and there was a reason the world of beasts and humans was different. Kimetetsu challenges Iozen in front of everyone, and both end up in the vigorous and beastly fight. Iozen is supported by everyone in the city. However, no one supports Kimetetsu. This notion distresses Ren, and he cheers for Kimetetsu. Lozina and Kimetetsu end up having an intense and vigorous fight, which is stopped by the Grandmaster, allowing Kimetetsu to have a human as a disciple. Ren declares to Kimetetsu to be his disciple once they reach home, and proves it by eating the raw eggs in the morning. Kimetetsu starts training Ren by teaching him the art of swords, but Ren is weak and Kimetetsu is not a good teacher, making both of them frustrated. Kimetetsu keeps telling Ren to grip the sword in his heart, but Ren is unable to understand this nuance. After multiple tries, Kimetetsu leaves Ren in the care of Hyakoshobu. During Ren's time alone, he is bullied by Ozen's children and does chores at night. When Kimetetsu returns, he and Ren have an aggressive and heated argument, pointing out each other's flaws. Kimetetsu kicks Ren out on the streets to seek the meaning of strength from the great sages while traveling across the land. Kimetetsu, Ren, Hyakoshobu, and Tatara go together on a mission. Kimetetsu keeps on pushing Ren to move fast, fish, and eat faster. All of them meet the 5 sages who tell them the different meanings of strength. Ren gets disappointed and starts to pity himself for being weak, but Hyakoshobu encourages him and tells him that Kimetetsu was also like him. On the other hand, Kimetetsu is reminded of the same thing by Torara. He was also like Ren and was a disobedient disciple. Ren decides to learn Kimetetsu's skills by observing and practicing from afar. Initially, Kimetetsu is not very fond of this gesture, but later starts to enjoy this until Ren learns all the skills and is an expert at it and can predict Kimetetsu's moves. Kimetetsu makes a pact with Ren that he will teach him to fight if he tells Kimetetsu how he figured Kimetetsu's moves. Ren starts to grow stronger and can defend himself from the bullies. Kimetetsu also starts to get along with Ren and starts to teach him better than just being self-obsessed. As time passes by, people start to line up to learn from Kimetetsu. One day, while running away from doing the chores, Ren ends up in the human world accidentally. He goes to the library to learn to read and write and meets an outcast named Cade. Cade and Ren help each other. Ren helps Cade to be saved by the bullies, and in return, Cade teaches Ren to read and write. Ren goes back to Jengyutai to help Kimetetsu to teach his students that her only reason to go to the fancy school was because of her parents' wish. Otherwise, she just wanted to run away from home. Ren enjoys learning and reading, and Cade encourages him to give the high school equivalency tests and apply for college. But to Ren's dismay, he is not able to do so, as for a college application he needs an address, family, and money. Ren tries to discover his family tree, and in doing so, he comes across the address of his father's residence. Ren goes to his father's property, but as he is about to knock on the door, he backs down and turns away. As Ren is about to leave, he runs into his father and wonders if he could have a normal life. Ren goes to Kimetetsu to ask for his advice to choose the world he should live in. However, Kimetetsu becomes angry, and both of them end up fighting. Ren, being impulsive as always, decides to go back to the human world. He is stopped by Kimetetsu, but Ren does not listen. Back in the human world, when Ren returns to his father, he is disappointed to hear that his father had moved on and he wanted things to be as they were. Ren, angered by his father and Kimetetsu, decides to run to the streets of Shibuya, again ending up encountering the darkness which manifested him years ago. Ren runs off to find Cade and becomes aggressive, asking Cade if he was a beast or a human. Cade stops him, bringing him back to his senses. Ren apologizes and is about to leave when Cade gives him a charm. She tells Ren that this is from a bookmark she loved when she was a kid, and any time Ren freaks out or is about to lose his control, Ren returns to Jengyutai to find out that the Lord had decided the type of god he will become, and that the date for the duel between Kimetetsu and Eozen had been decided. Eozen's son discloses to Ren the non-stop training that his father was doing. As Ren is walking through the forest back home, he is attacked by Eozen's other son, Ichiruhiko. It is revealed that Ichiruki is also a human and develops an inferiority complex about it. The day of the duel arrives and everyone from the city gathers to see the new successor. As the fight begins, Kimetetsu is irritated as he had not met Ren for long. Though Kimetetsu puts up a fight with Eozen, but it is not as tremendous as expected. As Kimetetsu is about to be knocked down in the duel, he hears Ren cheering for him. Kimetetsu and Ren have a heated argument during the fight, and Kimetetsu rise to put up a fierce fight with Eozen. Kimetetsu disarms Eozen and knocks him out, becoming the winner of the duel. Eozen feels depressed and leaves the ring. Ren congratulates Kimetetsu, and as everyone is celebrating, Ichiruhiko uses his inner darkness and hits Kimetetsu with his father's sword. Seeing Ichiruhiko attack Kimetetsu, Ren's inner darkness also awakens and is about to slash Ichiruhiko with his sword. Though the sword is about to go through Ichiruhiko's head, it is stopped because he looks at the charm Cade gave him. On the other hand, Ichiruhiko is possessed by the darkness and he disappears from the scene of the duel. Kimetetsu survives the attack but goes into a coma. Eozen reveals to everyone how he saved Ichiruhiko from being abandoned and that he had lied to him his whole life that he was a beast. Ren sets out to find Ichiruhiko to stop him from the darkness that embraced him. Ren is stopped by Torara and Hayakashobu to not find Ichiruhiko, but he explains to them that he is not going out to get revenge. The only thing that stopped him from manifesting the darkness was that he had help throughout his life. Ren meets up with Cade and thanks her for all the help she had provided him. As both of them are talking, Ren is attacked by Ichiruhiko in the streets of the human world. Ren runs, taking along Cade, but is followed by Ichirohiko as a shadow creating destruction in the human world. Ren realizes that the only way to save Ichirohiko was to encompass his darkness and commit suicide. In the world of beasts, Kumatetsu gains consciousness and decides to become a god to help Ren. In the human world, Ren and Cade are attacked by Ichirohiko. Ren uses his sword to transfer the darkness into himself. As Ren starts to use his sword to capture the darkness, a golden sword intervenes. Hai and Shabo and the rest of the clan appear and tell Ren about Kumatetsu turning into God and taking the form of a sword that Ren could grip in his heart. Ren feels more powerful and enthusiastically uses the sword in his heart and ends up defeating Ichirohiko's darkness. Ren destroys Ichirohiko's darkened heart but does not kill him. To help Ichirohiko, Ren gives him the charm Cade gave him to learn self-control. Back in the world of beasts, Ren remembers Kumatetsu in his heart, ios and welcomes Ichirohiko back home, and the Lord decides not to become a god and to remain the Lord of Jengchuai. In the human world, Cade and Ren remain friends and Ren decides to reunite with his father for a dinner. That's it for the recap. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our uploads.